It's Vader Roundup time. So right now we're taking a look at 3 games today. 2 of them are very similar and they're very related to a game I just reviewed called Orient Express. This would be Transamerica, Trans-Europa, and Clare Harper, the detective series. And let me just tell you, I love detective series games. I love games in which you have to solve a mystery. To me, that's such a fun thing. Just to give a little backstory on that, we got into gaming around 2014, like heavily into gaming, 2014, right? And then this thing came out called Time Stories. Now, we had gone to escape rooms before, and they were amazing. Our friend group did it. We loved it, right? You couldn't replicate that until you could. So when we played Time Stories, there was nothing like it for us. It was like, this is the most amazing thing. Time Stories 1, especially at the Asylum. And then more and more escape room games started coming out. And we were like, wow, I don't know that we need to run the loop 6 times in order to beat this mission. So we decided to start playing more of those. Then there was a subgenre of kind of detective, more detective based escape room type games. So puzzly, detective-y, things like that. So that's where this Clare Harper series comes in. Suspects is what it's called. So I'm a huge fan of this game. But let's take a look right now at Transamerica first, Trans-Europa, and then we'll take a look at Clare Harper Suspects. All right, this is Transamerica. Imagine we're playing Speed Ticket to Ride. That's essentially what's happening. This is the middle of a round. Everyone will get 5 cards, 1 from each of the colors on the map, and your job is to connect those different cities on your map. The way that works is on your turn, you can do one of 2 things. You can place 2 pieces of track out over normal track spaces, which are the regular grid lines, or you'll see the double grid lines, which would be rivers and mountains. You spend both of your actions to place 1 track. What this does is it essentially makes you be more strategic about where you place tracks. Now, just like a real railroad, I'm not beholden. Notice that the railroad tracks are black. They're not player color. The reason that matters is you choose your starting city. So let's say I'm trying to get Winston, New Orleans. Let's just line this back up. Winston, New Orleans, El Paso, Santa Fe, and Sacramento, right? So the thing with that is I'm trying to connect those, but if the other person starts building in an area that I can use, I can just branch the railroad into there. So as long as at the end of the round, or when someone completes 5 tracks complete, or 5 cities connected, you're connected to yours, you don't lose any points. Essentially, this is an elimination game. You're trying to knock the person out, really and truly, because at the end of that, you're going to count spaces. So let's say I only got 4 of mine. Let's say we're not all the way in Winston yet, and we're here, okay? So if I didn't get into Winston, every single space that you're short from connecting the cities, and usually it's going to be just 1 unless you're just playing terribly, or the hands are really tricky. Like if you've gotten like Memphis, St. Louis, really tight stuff together, then that could be it too. But most likely it's going to be 1 city you're short. You'll count single points for single lines, double points for double lines. So you'll then take your train, and let's say we're starting at the beginning. Well, then I move back 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3. If you were to cross this barrier, which doesn't start moving, this will start moving up as a timer. Whoever crosses that barrier first loses the game. And that is how you play Transamerica. You're going to just building these routes out, completing your 5 cities. First to complete it is going to win as long as you stay in that first place. Now you can lose a round, you can win a round, much like Mario Kart, right? You can make up for a bad round by playing a better round and putting the negative points on the other person. So you have to be strategic about what you're doing, because sometimes you think, well, I think 2 tracks would be better for me right now. But then oftentimes it's better to just shoot across the mountains, spend your 2 actions for a straighter path that leads to more non-straight paths. So like up here, for instance, it'd be better to go across here, shoot up and around sometimes, because you're also giving your areas to branch. That's the other downside of mountains. When only laying 1 track, you have less chance of branching really properly. So really interesting take on the track laying elements of Ticket to Ride without a lot of the luck needed. Really, you have everything you need at the beginning of the round, and it's a race. All right, that's Transamerica. Pretty straightforward. And Trans-Europa. You know what? Pretty much the same game. The only thing different is there's ferries added to Trans-Europa that Transamerica doesn't have, because you're all kind of landlocked in the US, or you're at least running across continental. Whereas in Europe, you have to get across to London and things like that. To me, this is really cool. Like I talked about it in the review for Orient Express. I have not played a game where your entire point was to just sit there and put routes out. Whereas, Orient Express is a lot meatier. You're following the routes and you're trying to get more points from that. This one is whoever finishes these first 5 routes first wins. Now, it's based on luck, right? You have some luck in there, depending on which card you have. But you also have some advantageous looking of, okay, is this smarter for me to go this direction? Can I play off someone else's route? Now, what I really love is you don't have specific player colors in this. You have a shared pool of tracks, which means you have to work together or use each other's tracks. To me, that's so cool. I really like how quick this game plays. Like it's an elimination kind of knockout basketball style too, where you're not playing to win, you're playing to make sure that everybody else loses. To me, that's really cool as well. I just love this notion of you just play 2 tracks or you play one across a rough terrain. Like, it's such a simple game. And so when people are saying, what should I play after Ticket to Ride or before Ticket to Ride or with Ticket to Ride? This is it. Like, this is my new go-to answer. I love how simple this is. It's intuitive. It makes sense. Just an easy game. So Transamerica, Trans Europa, really cool games. Now, let's talk about Clare Harper Suspects. Now, unfortunately, I can't show you much of the game. I will show you a couple pages from the rule book so you can see kind of how things work. But I will say this has been for a while my favorite version of any of the detective or choose your own adventure type things or mystery type games, because I love what happens. I love that you can talk to someone and then you can talk to somebody about someone. And then if you have the right item, you can talk to somebody about that item or about that person or you can use the item on this thing. It's so well done. The only other time I remember having this much fun was Cantaloupe Season 1. That was so much fun. But it does it in such a way where you really feel like you're answering the questions and doing a really good job. Now, some things are unfortunate because the scoring is based on how many cards you use. Well, the problem is you can't get all the information unless you use most of the cards, right? It's just not possible unless you're just some intuitive genius and you go, oh, I bet it's this, which usually that takes a leap of logic. So I just throw out the scoring system. I don't use it. I don't care. I don't care if we, are they're in the news this week, but I don't care if you're ignoramus or anything like that. I just care that we had a fun time solving this mystery. So to me, that's the most important part. So that is my favorite of the mystery detective style games. If you haven't played one of these, and also let me know in the comments below what your favorite kind of mystery detective style game is. I mean, there's Detective, the one that came out from Portal Games. Then there's Detective City of Angels, which has a one versus all type thing. So there's a lot of different versions of games in this genre. But let me know in the comments, what is your favorite version right now? I am Brian Drake here on the Dice Tower. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, etc. at Dice Tower Brian. Until next time, we'll see you.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vassell.